I've got the Ballista back together. I've even brought out my old siege engine. It's a trebuchet, or it can be shot with a rigid arm like that. But you'll notice the difference in this, which is pretty much copied on an illustration in Ralph Payne Galway. There's a means of pre-tensioning the skein at either side. Well, that's one of the design flaws with this, and the more I look at it, the more enigmatic it seems. As a Ballista, it's a bad design. I think it's made as an exercise in demonstrating the metalworking skill of the person who made it, maybe as an apprentice piece for a gun maker or a crossbow maker. Don't think it's English, and somewhere where gun making and crossbow making comes together is in Belgium, so maybe it's Belgian. Anyway, the basic design flaws on a normal Ballista, this face here would come straight across. You'd have a skein either side, which could be pre-tensioned, but with this, because the wings, for want of a better word, come back, if you drew a straight line from there to there, the string would already be half drawn. And if you had the arms coming this way, then the string would almost be at full draw anyway. So you've got this daft arrangement with the arms pointing forward. Now you'll see what I've done. This obviously isn't going to be the final arrangement. I've used some braided nylon cord because it's a bit more forgiving than the catgut. It'll allow me to experiment. Eventually I'll put the catgut back on, but it will probably get softened and oiled. So that's where we are now, and I've made up a string using the original as a pattern, and I'm going to try and bind that onto the arms and see if we can make it actually shoot. Now what I'm going to do is bind the end of the string to the shaft here, and then double these tails back over and bind some more, and hopefully that will give enough grip. That's the first binding, and I'll put a bit of thread across there, a bit of thick thread, fold the tails back and then bind again, and that should hopefully stop it just pulling out and slipping. Right, I've got one end of the string on, so before I go to all the trouble of doing the other end, let's see if it can take the strain of let's just wind this back a bit. It's a bit stiff, this, actually. I don't think it's ever had a lot of use, which is another contributing factor to me thinking it wasn't really for use. Let's see if I can apply enough force to pull the lever round. Well, it's certainly moving. Can you see it? I think that's going to work. Whoa. Right, I was applying a good bit of grunt there. So let's see if I can get me 2 knots onto the actual cups. Yeah, there we go, look. So I could bind that on like that and then get some tension by folding the wings open before I use it. So I think that's looking quite promising. It's going to be a bit of a fiddle to try and bind that, but the first one's held. We'll see what we can do.